2 versus 2. How aggressively will Origen look to play through this lane versus what will Cloud9 try to do in terms of answer?
With that, the teams have loaded onto the Rift, so we're going to toss it out to the casters for the call.
Thank you very much, Dash. We are here to witness Origen versus Cloud9 here in day 2 of Rift Rivals 2019. And we've got a role swap. Nisqy with the Sivir is going to be playing bot lane as Blaber fills in and takes over mid.
Yeah, we thought Blaber was playing AD carry, subbing in as a traditional jungler. Instead, it will be mid lane on the Aatrox up against the Camille. So getting counter-picked in that matchup, although he is running the Ignite, so a little bit extra trading power for these 2v2 mids, which I think is going to be super important. Because when Origen play this Camille mid, it's not about beating you in lane or going for the 1v1 usually. It's all about controlling the river and having the superior 2 versus 2.
Well, we're going to hear a word from Cloud9's coach himself. Riv, take it away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by Reaper. Reaper, victory on the horizon. How's the team feeling? You looked all smiles on the stage.
It's been fun to drafting with the Blaber. And, you know, if we don't know what we are doing, how they know we are doing, you know? That was a strat, yeah.
Absolutely. And what was the strategy to actually have Nisqy on Sivir? Did Blaber not have enough time on the ADs, or is he just preferring that bot lane?
No, not really. We just drafting whatever looking good. And who wanna play Sivir here? Maybe me. that was that happens.
All right, Reaper. Good luck in the matchup, and we're gonna throw it back to you guys to see how it goes.
Yeah, I will say I think it's actually pretty reasonable putting Nisqy on Sivir. I feel like the play style is something that he can kind of get to, and Blaber's on a champion he normally plays in the jungle in Aatrox.
Yeah, C9 are basically G2. Who wants to play this champion? You go whatever role you want.
Yeah. This one more out of necessity than opportunity, but it is what it is, and who knows? Maybe we'll see Cloud9 with a winning bot lane for the first time in several years, and it might look good for them.
Oh no, Freeze. How are you gonna do him like that? He can't even defend himself.
I actually super love Sneaky too. I think he's an amazing player, but I had to make the joke.
Oh.
All right, well, it's trading in the bottom lane. Yeah, Sona Tahm Kench versus Sivir Karma. I do expect Sivir Karma to be winning this overall. You can pretty reliably spell shield Sona Q and get mana back for that. Keep pushing into the turret. Really good damage here. I mean, Patrik is getting clapped early on, but keep in mind, has a mana pool, can get that sustained back
Exactly. In lanes like this, it is never about your HP bar, it's strictly about the mana. So while yes, Nisqy got a lot of good trade down on towards Patrik, Patrik can sustain on through, and Nisqy's going to be relatively low on that mana pool, so we'll have to wait before he can throw out too many more of those boomerangs. Svenskeren hitting that early level 3 and coming bot immediately, actually.
Well, they're not going to get him because they're too close to the turret, but a nice empowered Q is going to get damage on a Patrik, putting him quite low. Nisqy almost stunned up. Mithy pushed away, though, and we can kind of continue to track the farm. Keep in mind, Sivir is essentially CS against Tahm Kench right now, so 18-9 is that scoreline.
Gotta do that mental flip on the scoreboard, like 2 times right there.
Yeah, it'll
Tahm
flip a bit later.
Making the most. We can see Origen, while they are losing pressure on bottom lane, both top and mid going very well, and because Svenskeren showed himself all the way down bottom in that river, gives room for Kold to steal away these Raptors. He still has the Scuttle Crab and 2 camps on his top side as well. He is quite a little bit far ahead of Svenskeren in this early game.
And Nukeduck plays himself well, doesn't take any sweet spots in from Blaber, sidesteps the W backwards as well, and that's a decent trade. Farm, though, pretty close to equal, as we do have the players now swapped. You can see the matchups there, as mid lane first round is pretty close. Svenskeren seeing, do I have a gank path just yet? Early TV Patrik does have Frostwing, though. That's the important power spike to get to. Got that item, so now he's safe to lane.
Looks like Nisqy gonna go back and teleport in as well, top of his own mana pool. Now, this mid lane matchup is going to swing basically just depending on the jungle pressure and whose jungler is nearest, because it is very risky, especially for a champion like Camille, to trade forward with her hook shot. It's a relatively long cooldown in the early game.
Good damage there, and I absolutely love Nisqy rushed Executioner's Calling first back. That is the earliest executioner I have literally ever seen in pro play against double healer. I love it. I think it's going to be very, very effective. It will help the trades a lot. Keep in mind that this is a very poke-heavy lane. I don't think you always do this if you're playing like a Leona Sivir kind of thing where you're like trying to burst her all at once, but you're going to poke her so constantly that you're going to make headway through her W with that. You're going to have the Grievous Wind stick for 3 seconds, which can sometimes affect the Tahm Kench thick skin. If it ticks down in time, you'll get a couple of those ticks halved, so definitely a lot of value there.
Yeah, the Grievous Wounds is going to be most impactful during more extended trades where Sona is trying to smash that W key and waste a lot of her mana for those types of sustained trades. up in that matchup. I do also think that while the early game has been relatively quiet so far, this is once again a game that is going to sort of explode around that level 6 mark, both because of the Camille's ability to hit level 6 and then look for roam plays around the map, as well as two very aggressive junglers. These champions will be looking to get a little bit scrappy come 5 minutes into the game.
Absolutely. The early jungle lead, though, has gone to Rek'Sai. As you mentioned earlier on, Svenskeren showed in bot lane, and we had seen the Raptors taken, if not more. So it is a good early start for Kold. Top lane within 3 CS, mid lane within 2, bot lane, as we mentioned, of course, a small lead. Expected, being that you are against Sona overall, it means the game is slightly in Origen's favor early on.
And looking forward, projecting 10, 15, 20 minutes into this game, look at these team comps. I think that on the side of C9, they have a really strong team fight, both the ability to initiate with the movement speed of this Karma and the Sivir, but also just reliable primary initiation with the Jarvan. You layer a Kennen up on top of that as well. It is very straightforward how C9 want to execute in these 5 versus 5s. Whereas for Origen, they don't have that primary initiation tool. Yes, Camille can go in, but she's going to be a little bit more squishy. The Neeko, too, will have to find a very good ultimate. It's much harder to execute Origen's 5v5 when they are in an even-numbered team fight.
Now we are having Kold reconnect to the game a little bit. It was him who paused, and he will be rejoining soon enough, and we'll hopefully get everything sorted out quickly, but that is what's going on right now. As we get that all fixed up, shouldn't be too big of an issue, and he's in his own jungle, so nothing seemed to have really stopped him regardless. Yeah, the engage is going to be a little bit difficult. I think watching for Alphari engage will be pretty big. Certainly, we tend to see AP Neeko more than anything else. Similar for AP Kennen, it is Glacial Augment Neeko, which is going to be kind of exciting. So you're going to see like the Spooky Ghosts and GLP build, and that will help find ways in.
Yeah, if anything, that's how they look to start a fight, is we don't have to fully commit with any spells or our bodies, Camille throwing herself into the fray. Instead, they can use the Spooky Ghost to get things going.
Yeah, that'll be useful here. So Nisqy in his first, I believe, professional game in bot lane. I don't believe he'd ever role swapped in before, is doing pretty well on this Sivir, waiting to see what eventually comes through. He is out of potions right now because of how early his TP was, so sustain can become an issue depending on how that plays out.
I do also think it's really funny that in Patrick's 2 first international games,
yeah,
he has played against mid laners both games. First it was Bjergsen yesterday where he role swapped, now it's Nisqy coming down to him. It's kind of sad too because Patrick is really starting to step up on the LEC stage. We were waiting, we want to see him compete against some of the best AD carries North America has to offer. Now it's like, okay, you get to play against the mid laners. That's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to need a couple of minutes. We are going to restart Kold's computer, and that'll take a little bit of time, but it'll be back up and warmed up before too long. And I do want to talk about kind of Origen right now. For those who don't watch LEC a ton, of course, they were the second place team in Spring Split. They famously lasted longer against G2 than TL did, so, that's already a pretty...
By 4 whole minutes.
Yeah, but a pretty strong start overall there. And even though they are 3-3 right now, early on in the Summer Split, 2 of those losses are to Fnatic, who's undefeated, and G2 themselves. So even though the 3-3 record doesn't look terribly impressive, it's against like the actual best teams in Europe.
Right, and even in those 2 games against the 2 best in EU currently, they still held relatively competitive for the early game, and that is something that in the LEC we always judge teams on, is how well can you play the early, even though over the rest of the split, Origen has been one of our slowest teams in the LEC. So we saw a little bit of a new birth for them yesterday in their game against TSM, where they went really fast, really early. With this composition we're seeing right now, maybe it tends to slow down a bit for them, but Origen is always a team that can play many different picks, many different styles, and adapt based on their matchup.
Yeah, definitely a strong team. Going to be looking forward to this squad, and we think they are a hopeful to go to Worlds for Europe as well as our Cloud9. It is interesting where this feels like the first Rift Rivals where all 3 teams in attendance are kind of expected to be the 3 teams to continue to be top dogs through Summer Split. Very frequently you have a mid-year drop-off, and I think so far that's not been the case in any of these 6 teams. We do have lowercase r's in all chat as Kold has reconnected. I don't know why they don't bother to just put in the other 4 letters to say Eddie at the end, but they're ready.
There's no Eddie in this game, though.
Really? That's where you went with that one?
I was trying to do one of your jokes because I thought you would laugh at it.
You can't.
I made a really bad joke thinking Freak is 100% guaranteed to laugh at that.
That's not true. I laugh at funny things. Funny, stupid jokes, not just stupid jokes. Wow, you can't just say things like that.
I'm an analyst. Of course I can.
You're wrong a lot. Well, I guess that's how that one goes. Either way, some more poke coming across as, wow, the healing is halved because of grievous wounds. Executioner's calling. I love it. Everyone loves it. And we are back onto the Rift here with a pretty actually meaningful gold lead early on for OG.
Checking out the gold across the board, it does look even currently between the Tahm Kench, looking maybe 300 gold down up against that Sivir. Actually ahead in gold over Blaber's Aatrox in the mid lane. Not necessarily what you want to see, but of course Blaber subbing into that position. Not in the best of spots.
And a fairly rich Tahm Kench feels pretty solid as Nukeduck does jump away, and this time around Blaber is feeling quite comfortable here in this mid lane, temporarily down in CS, but that is because he took a recall and walked back in.
You can see as soon as he starts making that aggressive play, Svenskeren was waiting near that middle lane, ready to back him up in that fight. All of C9 actually trying to take some control around this river and limit Nukeduck's ability to move around the map, because the big number to look out for is level 6 for Nukeduck. Once you get that ultimate, it becomes so easy to tag team with the Rek'Sai and look to find picks onto the enemy jungler if he oversteps the river.
And speaking of players, actually, it looks to me like Licorice is going for an attack damage, or at least on hit-focused build on the Kennen. Early item was the No Magic Mantle, and I feel like it's actually likely to be a Wit's End early, just based on the sort of things I'm seeing in his build.
Yeah, I mean, it would really surprise me to see that, considering he's going for the phase rush. He could also just easily opt into the Merc Treads up against the Neeko and reduce some of that crowd control, but we'll keep our eyes on it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's not as common. It is about 80% AP Kennen in games overall, but wait to see what happens. Nisqy pushing and gets exhausted, though. Could be taking a lot of damage there. The knock over the wall. Kold wants in and grabs first blood. Beautiful stuff right there. Nisqy forced to run. Not going to find the sun onto him. Finds not even any damage as Devour comes through on towards Patrik. Gets a spell shield out, and now it's Svenskeren's turn. Blaber coming around as well. Not going to land the Q knockup. Looks for the EQ flash to get that one, but isn't enough damage. Svenskeren's going to try. Mithy is low, puts on the gray health, and the damage might just be there. Patrik, one more spell. Knocked up to buy the time. The flash. There goes Blaber. He needs one more. That's the second, and he'll revive. Not going to find the knock up there, but that might just be the revive. Force out of Blaber. He will walk away cleanly as C9 answer 2 kills.
Beautiful counter gank there by Cloud9. The double jungle gank in the bottom lane. OG tried to TP in.
A little early on the Q there. Mithy is on front. Not going to find any knockups just yet, though. They're going to try, though. He's going to be pulled right back in. Mithy, I've seen that TP before back on TSM. And he might just drop yet again. Big damage, though. He might pick it up. Svenskeren will go down. And Mithy, will he walk away? He actually does. You got to be kidding. The flash Q not going to land either. And would you believe it? What a teleport from Mithy.
Now here comes Nukeduck. He's ready for the fight. Level 6, he goes on Nisqy.
Flash finds a stun. Q's going to kill Nisqy, and now the chase down. They're going to try for a little bit more. Kold on a killing spree. What a setup. Mithy had it all along. Big brain plays.
I thought Mithy had lost his mind with that teleport. He comes on in, but he survives for so long using gray health, dodging away from the boomerangs on towards Nisqy, and it's OG that end out coming up on top in a fight that never should have gone their way.
That was insane. It was a 2-for-1 to start C9's favor, then 3 in a row for Origen in the back half.
How do we even break this down? Because it starts off really nice play there from Kold, coming in from the Fog 4. They get that initial kill, but look how low Patrik is. C9 were making the move down. Blaber had started the rotation very early on, so even though Mithy is able to keep Patrik alive for a little while, C9 have the HP advantage. And once Blaber assists in getting this first kill on towards Mithy, he has the ultimate to go ahead and charge for it, to dive under the tower, knock down Patrik, and get that reset on the health.
But then I think what you really see on the second half of this one is the big brain play from Mithy as he sets up for the fight for the LEC as, okay, it's time for Sona to walk around, and we don't get the back half. Instead, we get the point of view play.
All right, he jukes one Aatrox Q, then gets sucked back. No, he dodges everything. He flashes away from the jolt back. He, of course, gets the Devour on towards the Jarvan as well. And look how he escapes here, too. Auto attack after auto attack hit him. Dodges last second, almost walking into the boomerang blade, and Nukeduck's back.
Beautiful stuff right there, and now we're back onto the rift, though, as a fight towards Mithy trying to safeguard this Sona, but certainly not. Patrik will fall. Svenskeren grabs the first kill, and now Mithy, flashless, has to try to run away. Slowed down, knockup is there, and that's a kill in for Nisqy's Sivir.
Svenskeren just repeat ganks down in that bottom lane, knowing all the summoner spells are down. Now Blaber, he knows Kold is here.
Both for some move speed, finds a little bit of damage, will not die for this one, but goes back in to get knocked up. He's gonna get taken so much damage, and they have the follow through Kold on a rampage.
Don't know about that one from Blaber. He saw Kold the entire time, still got out, then turned around one more time. So big mistake coming out of him, but the rest of C9 get plenty of gold off of this tower bot side.
It still puts it about a 2,000 gold difference that the extra farm and kills are doing well for Origen. The second turret plate in the top side about to fall.
The top lane difference looking absolutely massive too, both in CS as well as those plates. It's going to be about a 600 gold advantage for Alphari. They're not going to dive because Kold does not have his ultimate to reset that turret aggro, but big wins on the top side of the map for Origen without any kills.
Unfortunate, another pause right there. We'll see what that is from in a little bit, but this has been an already very interesting, very exciting game so far. Actually worth pointing out that Mithy is actually completely tied with Nisqy in farm, 66 apiece, so that is an incredibly good start on that Tahm Kench. He's very, very tanky, and as you saw from his plays earlier, is setting up for his team quite nicely.
Yeah, very nicely done by him. If we look for gold leads across individual players too, jungle is the biggest disparity. Kold, the Halo Blades Rek'Sai has so much early game pressure. He's sitting at 4-0-1 at the moment with a 1,000 gold lead over Svenskeren. That means he has the completed warrior enchant, while Sven is still sitting on just the Bomby Cinder. So that is a very large itemization gap between these two players, which means that if there's ever a 2v2 or a 3v3 where both junglers are involved, it's almost always going to go in favor of OG.
And it looks like Kold on your screen. It might be from him once again. We have crested the mark for Sona for Patrik to get his items online. Just got his 500th gold out of his Frostfang, so that's going to start turning into him taking all the farm. Mithy's going to stop doing so quite so much, and that'll move on forward as we wait to see what comes out of this one. But looking about it, you are, I think, right about Licorice going AP. For some reason, Phase Rush, I was like, Phase Rush, that's a great auto-attack keystone, like forgetting that you go like fleet footwork or lethal tempo, press the attack, any of those things like much more frequently. So I was like, okay, that's bad brain for me. But yeah, it's Merc turns into an Amp Tome. He'll probably go Gunblade for the lane pressure to be able to lifesteal and stay full health, but that is going to be an AP Kennen probably for the late game team fights. AP Neeko, of course, as we expect.
Yeah, I'd almost like to see Kennen pivot into going for the Proto Belt because you're losing lane so badly. I'm like, get out of the side lane. I don't care if you're trying to sustain up. No. You're going to lose that anyways. I just want more mobility within these team fights because that is going to be C9's way to win this game. It is going to be grouping up and just trying to train you down with the movement speed and all-in they have.
Yeah, that's going to be the attempt right there. And hey, Sivir Karma is a ton of movement speed. Of course, on the other side, you've got pretty good mobility out of Sona here as well. And Tahm Kench people around. I actually kind of expect a fairly mobile game. You've got lots of, I feel like, long-range crowd control that can come over walls as well. So I do think we have a very volatile mid-game in store for us as time goes on. Also with the Mountain Drake done and picked up earlier on for Kold, they've actually got some good split push pressure. If you have to keep leaving Alphari by himself in the top lane on Neeko, he's already winning lane. He's already up 22 CS. That's going to get worse and worse, and the turret's going to drop in front of him. Yeah,
I think if Origen were to, have this gold lead shrink a little bit on them, 1-3-1 is what they would want to split up into because you consider 2-item Camille going to be smashing that Aatrox in the side lane. Neeko should continue to have this advantage over the Kennen, assuming he goes for that teamfight itemization. So you can continue to get pressure across the map and play super safely with a Sona Tahm Kench.
Yeah, it's going to look really, really good for them. And we're basically going to wait for the Sivir items to come online. But for now, we're going to take a quick break while we work out our issues on stage. But meet us back here for the conclusion of Origen versus Cloud9. See you soon.
Welcome back to Rift Rivals 2019, powered by Alienware. As you know, we are currently waiting for things to get all set up on stage for the return of Origen versus Cloud9, working through some issues with Kold's computer as we speak. That said, gives us an interesting opportunity to talk about the game midway through. And we had just witnessed a very interesting interaction between both teams in the bot lane. Want to kind of work through this one bit by bit to see how each team is approaching the fights overall. It's a long one, but we're going to roll it out. Vedius, help me walk through it.
So one of the cool things about this play is how the play is set up, right? Because note how Kold actually comes through the enemy's half of the jungle and is able to set up this sneaky flank up towards bot. The problem is that they have no priority in mid. So while the gank itself is fine, if they choose to overstay, both the Aatrox and the Jarvan are going to collapse down onto the trio. So what Origen is looking to do is get a kill and then disengage. So the small mistake that Origen make here is that they choose to overcommit onto Nisqy when they should be looking to back off. Because they choose to go for this kill, they realize, okay, we've stayed in too deep. But one of the advantages that they have is Nisqy stuck clearing the minion wave. So they think, hey, maybe we can actually fight this 2 versus 3. But then they realize that it's a Sona, plus it's a Tahm Kench, only level 5, versus a level 6 Aatrox, and a Nisqy who's now joined the fight. So if we now pause it, we can see that C9 are in a great situation because they've just gotten themselves a return kill, they've got themselves 2 kills, and now it's their turn they need to disengage because Nukeduck has now regained priority in mid and could look to roam down bot, and the Tahm Kench has teleport and is ready to rejoin the fight. So at this point, C9 need to be like, all right, we're disengaging. Blaber, sure, he wants to get the reset, get all his health back up. This is fine. But they need to now get out of dodge. They need to get out of this situation as quickly as possible. And then they see the TP come in and like, wait a minute, our Karma's about to arrive. We have 4 people. Surely we can fight this. But they don't have the mana. A lot of members still at level 6. And we get to see some beautiful sidesteps coming out from Mithy. And again, look at the minimap. You can see that the Camille is now making her way down. So what should have been an easy 4 versus 2, because C9 did not read the situation properly, recognized they didn't have the mana or tools to get those kills, they're now the ones overstaying, and they now allow Origen to get these kills. And it was a bit of a comedy of errors of both teams, thinking they can overstay, thinking they can get these kills, and ends up backfiring for both of them.
Only speaks to the way that this tournament has unfolded, though, where it's about the second-to-second reactions for each team and how they navigate those elongated skirmishes.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back into the game. I heard they are ready.
That's what I was hearing too, so if I get the go-ahead, yes, as we load back onto the Rift, we're tossing it over to Freak for the call.
Thank you very much. Ender still joining me as well. Can't forget him. He's probably the most important part of this duo, as Rift Herald is being taken by Origen. Will not be a tower dive, but simply in a neutral objective picked up as we sit still on this 2,000 gold lead.
Probably. I'd say definitely. Personally.
Yeah, you're right. It's all you.
You know it. You know it.
I do. That's why
I was
said
actually looking at during this this pause. I was looking at OG, and they had actually brought Mithy up towards that top lane. They didn't end up going for the dive, which I thought maybe was going to happen. But now, after helping secure the Herald, he has reset. Is going down bottom lane along with 4 members of Cloud9. OG actually making a play mid lane themselves.
Yeah, pushing up towards the top side to look for the Aatrox, who they thought might have been on the roam down as well. He might have been in fog. I didn't quite see, but regardless, it is going to be bot lane outer turret falling. The substantial pressure down there does get first turret gold over, plus all the plays to C9.
Yeah, and OG bring the Herald down mid lane too, so they lose first tower, but they should get a big chunk on mid lane. Unlikely they can actually finish this off because the rest of C9 is en route, but OG may be setting a trap themselves.
Not gonna land the Freight Seeker just yet, but they are still sitting around on both sides. There's a stun for Nukeduck, looking for lots of damage as they're gonna pick C9 apart. 2 kills. It's gonna be a third before long. Svenskeren, no way out. A double for Nukeduck. Beautiful.
Beautiful setup there from Nukeduck, waiting on the flank there while Blaber was forced up towards the top half of the map. C9 were stuck in a 3v4 situation, getting collapsed on from both sides. There's just no way out.
Looking at the stun towards Mithy, though. Almost gets devoured, but Blaber able to walk away in time after landing that 3rd Q. Takes some poke from Patrik, but out they go. Herald was killed, claimed some plates.
Yes, this is really interesting here from Cloud9. They're stuck on this side of the jungle. If we actually look at the map, we try to get a little bit closer here. We see there's a big play going on in, and then we uncover that the real root of this replay is just the simple truth that EU is greater than NA.
There it is. Yep, that's science. That's a color caster right there.
Yep, solved. That's really all we have to break down in the rest of this game. EU greater than NA.
I have no response to that.
Yeah. at least 2-on-1 game earlier.
We did. The show match.
The show match.
And now the turret's under fire once again as Patrik is back in a mid lane, laning against Zeyzal. And getting damage onto this turret, earning some extra gold as that goes around. But now a play in for C9. They found the root. Do they have the rest of the squad in range, though? Nisqy, no ult to commit. They're not going to get anything on Mithy. Out he goes.
Both flashes up on the bottom lane from Origen. And Kold sitting inside the Cloud9 jungle. He's so fed right now. He could one-shot Sven.
No, he couldn't.
I mean,
He
could.
solo kill him, but he wouldn't one-shot
He could,
him.
okay. One shot maybe a little extreme.
Cinderhulk needed to be reasonably durable.
But true damage coming in from Kold's Rek'Sai. The hail of blades, the ultimate execute damage. Ooh,
Those
he
beautiful
hurts.
as well. Kold
But he's squishy.
into the river. He's fine. He's got a ruby crystal and no big deal out there. Gets a ward down on C9's side, and they know some of their own side of the map. Is now Blaber having a hard time against Alphari. Okay, ult comes in, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to win the siege at all. Just pushed right back out, pops the ulti, gets the move speed, runs away. Mid lane now being cleared out by C9.
Yeah, it's a preview of the future of the side lanes for Cloud9. Both Aatrox and Kennen going to be struggling significantly in their respective sides. If anything, right now, Licorice is feeling a little bit better about himself because there's no Tiamat coming through from Nukeduck, so a little bit less wave control. But even then, still, we're seeing the push going in Origen's favor and doing very well on turret damage as we get close to the 14-minute mark.
Importantly, Essence Reaver money is now available for Nisqy, so whenever he backs, he can pick the item up. Indeed, there it is. Cool, we made it. He TP'd back to lane, no problems there. Turret plates fall in the various side lanes, and we still have this 4,000 gold difference. But Blaber, jungler that he is, roaming to the top side, hoping to help Licorice.
This could be trouble. Licorice setting the bait at the moment, using his E aggressively, trying to force the all-in here. And Blaber's actually walking all the way around, so Nukeduck all the way... Where is he? He's inside the bushes, but he hasn't shown.
Well, they're going to find some turret damage for now, and Svenskeren coming out as well, and he's going to reveal himself on top of this one, so I think it'd be foolish to try to defend. Nuke shows himself. He walked out of the brush. They know he's there. He's going to go for the stun right now. Here's a lot of damage flashing away. Nice pushback. That W was crucial. Blaber pulls him right back out with the Infernal Chains, and that prevents Alphari's ult flash TP from doing anything.
Yeah, really nicely done there on the bind there from Blaber. Now 5 members top lane with C9. They should be able to knock down this turret. Without a wave in mid lane, Origen are going to be slow to respond to the push.
El Dragon will be taken down, so double Mountain Drake for Origen will help them with future turret sieging, but C9 do grab outer top lane. They get a bit of gold back to them, but it was all 5 committed to the top lane right there, so no mid, no bot control. Now an engage towards Mithy. Does have flash for when he needs it. He's going to devour, do some decent damage, spits him right back out. Not quite the stun for Nukeduck, who's now low himself as a flash away. Mithy now puts the shield up, but in comes Licorice, and the shutdown comes in for Blaber. Mithy going to be next up. One more skill shot, and they can't quite land it. Just tanky enough as he walks away.
Cloud9 grouping as 5, using their comp as they need to, finding the engage there, getting the kill on towards Nukeduck. Now they want the tower. They have the ward, they're going to get out.
Find a lot of damage. The flash Q's not going to land, but they're still going to get the assist of the Blaber. No, not in time! He's going to go down before the revive, and that is a fumbled engage. Root not going to land a stun towards Alphari. Big crescendo on it, too. Nisqy goes down. Sven's re-engage won't be enough damage. Kold comes back across, then devoured to safety. Origen out. Team fighting Cloud9.
Once again, it's Cloud9 that get the first kill, but then overstay. OG outplay under the tower and continue forward for 3 kills. Big move out of them to maintain gold lead.
Huge pickups there. The gold lead now up to 5,000. It is growing over time, despite the fact that Origen don't have turrets themselves. Their kills and farm are so much better.
And now, you know, everything's starting to stack up. The Sona continuing to scale, getting close to that Seraph's Embrace. You see it one more time. Blaber going in on towards Mithy. I do not know about that play. And then the rest of the team is just stuck here. Patrik will end up using the ultimate onto 2 crucial members, both Nisqy and Licorice. Leads to very easy follow-up from the rest of OG.
He just slowly walked up and crescendoed them. They didn't react to it at all. He's not in time, and down went those 2 members. Back in the side lane, Nukeduck now playing on this side, does have Triforce done and building slowly towards the next piece of the inventory. Could be Asterix, I guess, early on. I don't think Titanic. Maybe Titanic, but I don't think so.
It would be a late one, certainly coming out from him. Is the
non-Tiamat early Titanic Hydra, probably not the build.
Still, though, Origen in a comfortable position here, working on getting Alphari's itemization to come through with the GLP for the engage. Now Blaber caught.
Another 1v1, not finding any sweet spots there. The ult actually immunes the Infernal Chains to the back side, so plenty of damage there. Kold now unstoppable, 5, 0, and 7.
Cloud9 need to step up the vision game right now. Origen's way to continue snowballing this game is to play through their side lanes. Because of how strong Rek'Sai is at the moment, he can roam around, try to pick off individual members. You also have the global pressure of the Tahm Kench. They have to be hyper aware of where Origen are on the map at all times. Otherwise, they're going to keep getting picked and they're going to keep falling further and further behind.
Looks like a temporary lull right here as the teams reset, push their waves and recall. And Ender, I got a question for you.
I've got an answer.
That's good. If I said Kold making an enemy out of Cloud9, would you understand that pun?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So Kold used to play in the North American LCS as Trashy.
Yep, I remember
On the
Trashy
team
Enemy.
Enemy Esports.
Yep.
And Enemy weren't very good.
No.
So making an enemy out of Cloud9 is saying you're dumpstering them. They don't look very good by comparison.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I would
very-
call a stretch.
You should stretch every day. The doctors recommend that. That's why I do this. Licorice in the battle. Doubles coming across. Svenskeren trying to buy some damage, but he's getting stunned instead, and Kold is dominating, making an enemy out of Cloud9.
And you did it anyways, Freak. Why not? Origin, they're gonna get the kill and the red buff and full control over the jungle here. Why are you like this?
I don't know.
Just why?
I just am. 7,000 gold lead. Origen are clapping C9 with their new roster. Nisqy in the bot lane, not doing too amazing right now. Another dive into the top side. Licorice, goodbye. Alphari, nice stopwatch, buys his face, gets away from the turret, and that's going to be another dead structure. It's going to be 3-2 in turrets here. Origen clapping this game.
C9 tried their best to DDoS Kold, but he's about to go legendary in this game.
Oh. That's why Jensen's not on the team anymore, I guess. He would have done it properly. Okay, that's probably not a good reference. That's maybe a bit too harsh. Either way, we're back onto this one as Nisqy's gonna get ulted! Whoa!
See you later.
Patrik makes the big play.
Nisqy just disappeared. Svenskeren's trying to find a fight. He's like, wait a second, where'd my AD carry go?
He's at home sick, really.
That was a joke.
Okay, got it. That was subtle for me. Well, I guess I explained the joke, so it wasn't too subtle, but I didn't realize you were that clever. That's what it is, actually. It's me low-key dissing you, but I think you didn't make the joke on
How are you
purpose.
trying to turn this around on me?
I don't know.
Your joke
Ken,
has been terrible.
I'm just like this. As the wave gets cleared away in Origen, they're going to knock down this turret without any issue at all. As the items keep stacking up. Ceres and Lichbane already done on Patrik. He is freaking massive right now. 9,000 gold in inventory, second richest member in the game. Didn't even start the game by CSing at all.
That's just gross.
Yeah.
OG also getting their third Mountain Drake, so they can just walk over to the Baron whenever they want. They're not going to take any damage because they have a Sona on their team. They're also just going to instantly disintegrate it.
Some honey fruit picked up as triple Mountain Drake comes in. Yeah, disintegrate is probably a good word for it there. As Svenskeren gets to kill a Gromp. Slowly.
Woo! They're coming back.
86 gold.
He's
That's
rich.
like 1% of the deficit in this game. So, do that 100 more times and they'll catch up. Kold might be rooted, but channeling right over the wall. Nice tunnel. Out he goes. Now on the top side, Licorice got to be careful. Does have flash, does have an ult, puts some damage across. Can't find any damage though. They instead dunk towards Patrik. Stopwatch buys 2.5 seconds. Nisqy spell shields some damage. Big stun coming in for Alphari, and there are no kills we had. Patrik stays alive. Svenskeren flashing away, but is there even an escape for him as Kold follows through? Can't get the damage into Patrik. Double kill now for the Neeko, and it's just Licorice left alive. The first one engaged upon, just running for his life, but he's slowed down by the GLP.
He cannot run. Mithy flashes forward to apply the taste of
And
blood.
take the kill.
Yeah. He got
Woo!
That's a Baron.
Man. Origen, they're going to get Baron here. They got the ace. 11,000 gold lead. I think they got it. I think they're going to win this game, Ender.
Now, how do they throw this like G2?
How do they throw this? Well, you play gauntlet style. You just take one person at a time, and you 1v5.
All right, I like it. Do a little prize fight like in the Nexus Blitz.
Yep.
Even then, we see this fight. Licorice, the initial target. It's 5v4 for C9 at the start, but they dive so far onto Patrik, who has his Zhonya, that, well, look, Nisqy gets soloed out by Kold. All the damage had to flash away there with Licorice leading the fight as well. So The tag team of junglers wanted to go deep. They wanted to find the pick on towards the squishy carry, but they had no follow-up.
Yeah, they don't really have backline damage. Keep in mind, it is full tank Jarvan, so he's not getting all that much done early game, and Sivir largely zoned away as well, so quick pick up there. Mithy grabs the chomp. Yeah, secures it. Nicely done.
And now OG with a 13,000 gold lead. Full control over the map. Interestingly enough, they split up 1-2-2 at the moment, with Kold being off towards that top side of the map. Mithy and Nukeduck teaming up here because they have the global pressure of that Tahm Kench. Actually, no, that's a Neeko. Neeko looks like Alphari's the one in the mid lane. Disguised as Tahm Kench.
Yep, and then reveals the disguise and presses GLP, slowing down the squad. Sivir pops ulti.
Kold just split pushing on Rek'Sai. He thinks he's playing in 2014.
Sorry,
with the global ult.
Yeah. But now it's a dive into the bot side. Licorice taking a lot of damage there. Gets a stun across, but still stuck in the hexagon. Nukeduck solo kills him under the turret.
Mithy shows up at the end too. Now Kold in a 1v3 flashes out of the Cataclysm while the rest of his team keeps pushing.
Now split push overall going to be successful then on the Origen side as they grab that kill, and losing a flash hurts a little bit, but I'll take that overall. As now mid's under fire. Bot lane's going to drop now as well, and they're pushing into the base rapidly here as all 6 outer turrets are now gone into the middle inhibitor turret now. 5v4, still 12 seconds on the respawn for the Kennen. There's a nice knockup coming across. There's the Sivir ulti this time around. Stun's going to find only Svenskeren. Don't play it on, that makes him very, very tanky. Do they have the damage, though? Nukeduck will not go down. Instead,
he just hops in for the 1v3 while the rest of the team gets the kill. C9 tried to make the play before they lost their base, but now this should be 2 inhibitors for Origen.
Nisqy is slowed, has to get away from everything, just barely survives. Spell shield a little bit late, but doesn't really matter all the same. Gonna go back to the fountain and heal up anyway. Middle inhibitor going to drop. Good wave clear out of the Origen side as Nukeduck runs into the bot lane as well and opens up the bottom inhibitor now.
Sven spawns in 10 seconds, but there are 0 ultimates ready and available for Cloud9. They have to try to wave clear their best, otherwise it ends here.
Well, they put players where they could, but it's not going to be enough here for Cloud9. The gold deficit simply too large. 16,000 Origen, making quick work of C9, improving the record for Europe here in Rift Rivals. They chase down for a couple more kills, a little bit more KDA, a couple more turrets, a little bit more gold, triple Mountain Drake, and all across the board with the Sona on Patrik. Still can't find a conventional bot lane in a lane against, but still doing very well all the same as the dive comes in. Crescendo over the top, the flash, the unstoppable assassination as Sona is in combat, killing absolutely everyone. That's Origen chasing up to the fountain. Run for the hills, Cloud9. You are not going to stay here. A 25-minute victory for Origen.
I like this fast Origen, Freak. They're playing so well, Kold in particular in this game.